Hi everyone. Just coming today to talk to you guys a little bit about foundation. I had one of my friends on Facebook ask that I kind of go through what my staples are. I have a lot of foundation, so instead I decided to actually do a blog post and kind of write about my preference in foundation. I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit here, but I did do a blog post to talk about my overall just preference on my personal everyday foundation, what I like to use. And you can check that out in the link that I'm going to put below. But right now, I'm really just going to kind of go through my foundation collection with you guys. Honestly, it's not huge, but it is more than what the average person probably needs. So I'm just going to kind of go through them and tell you why I like and or dislike some of these. So let's go ahead and get started. And I'll start off with one of my oldie but goodies. And actually, where did it go? Oh, here we go. I'm going to talk about the MAC Studio Fix. And I feel like this is kind of like a cult favorite. It's a powder foundation. It gives you like a medium to full coverage. It's really, really decent. Um, this was the first foundation I ever had. Actually, no, I'm lying. This is the first one I ever purchased for myself. My mom bought me a Mary Kay one when I was really, really young, and it sat on a dresser forever because I didn't wear makeup at the time. But when I got into high school, probably like my junior or senior year, me and a friend went to the MAC store and I purchased this. And it lasted me, this was the only foundation I used probably well into my first 2 years of college. And me and my friends used to always laugh because literally all of us wore the exact same color. It was like four of us. And if you look at us, we do not look like the same complexion, but we all wore MAC and W45 and Studio Fix. So I still keep it around. I really don't use it that often just because I'm not a huge powder foundation fan because I have dry skin. But if you do like powder foundation and you like a medium to full coverage, I would definitely suggest that you try it out if you haven't already. Another one of my favorites, which is again more of a classic here, is Revlon Color Stay. This is the combination to oily skin formula. Honestly, I find that I like this formula better, even though I have dry skin. It goes on really super matte, stays on all day long. It's very full coverage, so if you don't like full coverage foundation, or if you don't want to look like you have makeup on, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. It's definitely for that full face, but it comes in a plethora of colors, all the way up to darker skin tones, which is often really hard to find. But it can give you that full coverage that you want. If you do want to lighten it up, you can. I would just recommend spraying some water on your makeup brush before applying it, but it's still going to be a pretty full coverage foundation. Another drugstore one, which I've recently tried. It's not my favorite. It just doesn't stand out for me. It's not bad by any means, but for me, it just doesn't give me like that great foundation, memorable kind of feel. My friends love it, so I tried it. It's the Maybelline Fit Me. As you can see, the bottle's pretty much completely full because I rarely ever have used it. It's not bad. It's medium coverage. You could probably build it up a little bit more, but I wouldn't say it's like a full coverage foundation. It's very lightweight though. It wears decently throughout the day, especially if you set it with a powder. But it's a decent something to try if you're into drugstore foundations. And I don't mean to say it like that. Drugstore foundations can be fine. But this is definitely one that I have tried. Again, just not my favorite. On the more high-end side, and this is not my favorite either. I've used a lot of it, and I'll explain why. This is the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation, I believe. Yeah, Skin Foundation. It's got like SPF 15 or so in it, and you can probably see why I don't wear it very often. It is super duper red, and that is something that I have noticed with Bobbi Brown products for the face in general. Great products. However, when it comes to foundations, if you don't have like really warm or reddish undertones, that's kind of her thing. Everyone is red or has like reddish, warmish undertones. This stuff makes me look so red, like I've been sunburned or something. So I typically would mix it with like a lighter foundation if I had one, in order to just use it up. Because it's not bad. It's really, really red. It's also water based. So if you are warm, and you have dry skin, I would say definitely try this. It's water based. It's very light coverage, not at all full. You can probably get up to about a medium, but not full coverage at all. definitely interesting, but if you have yellow undertones, I'm not going to say don't try it because it might balance out on your skin, but just be aware it's red. It's real, real red. Um, Another one, and I guess this goes back to the drugstore ones a little bit. And this is the foundation that I actually keep in my kit. Because it's super, super, super full coverage. And then honestly, it takes the place of my concealers and foundations in my kit. And that is the Black Opal True Color Foundation Sticks. They were, from what I understand, this is what I've been told, is that they were formulated by Sam Fine, who is like the man when it comes to makeup for women of color. He's Queen Latifah's makeup artist, Vanessa Williams' makeup artist. I mean, he's been in the game forever. So if he says it, or if he endorses it, or if he makes it, I kind of just go ahead and get it. um, but it's really, really full coverage. I personally don't use this for myself just because it is so full, and it's cream foundation, so it's super thick and it's all jacked up because I cut it off to put it in a palette. But super thick. But if you like full coverage, or if you have really bad acne, scarring, or discoloration that you really need to cover up, this foundation is crazy, crazy, crazy good for coverage. But it's definitely full. Something that I definitely wouldn't use for myself every day, and I don't use it for myself every day, but I do have this in my kit because it really does allow me to mix and just go a wide way of colors. And not to mention, it goes to super duper dark. I learned about these, I think it was 2 years ago or a year ago, when I took a class with Rennie Vasquez, who is an awesome makeup artist from the DMV area. And he said that he still uses these, and he's like a celebrity makeup artist. So again, I definitely think that these are nice if you have scarring and if you have a lot to cover up. But if you have really decent skin and you don't need a full coverage foundation, may not be the best pick for you. Let's go into, okay, let's go here. This is probably one of my favorite foundations, and I don't use it very often. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's by Laura Mercier, and it is her, what is this called? Creme Smooth Foundation. I didn't know the exact name of it. I have had this for probably 2 years now, and I'm going to show you how much I have used, because I've had it for 2 years and I've used it pretty hefty, and I put a dent in this baby, but look, there is still well over 2/3 of this jar still here. It's pretty medium to full coverage, very, very moisturizing. So if you have dry skin, this is an excellent foundation. However, if you are oily, I wouldn't recommend it because it's pretty much like a lotion. Like, to me, it feels like body butter or something is the consistency of it, and it just it goes on so smooth and it looks so pretty. But it does have that dewy finish, and the dewy finish does not go anywhere. Even when I set it, it still manages to have like that glow to it. So if you don't like the glowiness, or if you're already really oily, I'm not sure if you would like it. I mean, you can definitely try it, but I would just be again aware that it's very moisturizing and very, very rich. Another foundation that I do wear pretty often, more so in the summertime than in the wintertime, and is my Estee Lauder Invisible Fluid. Water-based foundation. Again, I have dry skin, so if it's water-based, I generally want to try it. I apply it with my fingers. Very, very light coverage. Very light, almost medium, not at all full. Again, this color is a little bit on the warm side for me. I wear the 6C in 1. So it's a little warm for me. It does go kind of on the redder side. However, it's a really, really nice finish, and it's one of those foundations that when I wear it, I always get compliments about how my skin looks. So if you're new to foundations, or if you're one of those people that doesn't like to wear a lot of makeup but still likes to have something that kind of evens out their skin, I would definitely recommend this one as well. Because it makes your skin look really, really good. So it's a very, very nice foundation. Goes on my hits list. Another one of my favorite everydays is the Mary Kay Time Wise Luminous Wear. It's the one I'm actually wearing right now. And I like this because, again, it's very buildable. It can go from really light to almost pretty full coverage. I would still use the concealer. I wouldn't say it's full coverage, but you can definitely build it up, which is why I like it. Now, disclaimer on this one, because initially I was like, I don't think I like this. And I really thought that for a little bit. So I just kind of played with it. And it was one of those things where it was kind of like I had to look at how it looked on my skin and not just how it was when I was applying it. So when I was applying it, I didn't feel that it was going on the way I wanted it to. But then when I tried using it with like a different kind of brush and then building the coverage up on it, I really, really like the way my skin looks. It kind of gives me a really natural look. Um, I'm not a full coverage girl, like I said, unless I'm going out or something. So it works really, really well for me. I usually apply it with a brush that's a little bit heavier. And I'll talk a little bit about brushes in a different video because that's a whole other ball game. But I do have to, I will apply it with like some kind of blending brush, so that way I can kind of control the amount of coverage I'm getting with it. And I really, really, really like the way this one looks on me, as you can see. All right. Oh, we just have two more. Okay. This next one is the MAC Match Master Foundation. Um, and I've used a pretty good amount of this one. Another pretty full coverage foundation, medium to full. It's okay. Again, I have really dry skin. So for me, I find that it kind of dries me out sometimes. So I have to make sure that I have a really heavy moisturizer on underneath of it. If you have oily skin, I would definitely recommend this for you because it gives you a super matte finish, in my opinion. So definitely a good pick for my oily girls. My dry girls, you can try it if you like. Again, I would just make sure that you put on a really, really good moisturizer underneath, maybe even a good moisturizing primer underneath, before applying this. And then if you're going to set it with a powder, I would make sure that there's very translucent, lightweight powder because this is a very drying foundation. And then another one, which is more on the full coverage size. And golly, it looks terrible. This is my Estee Lauder Double Wear. I've only had this like a year. And it's just, it looks like it's been through. Oh well, but this is another really decent foundation. It's really full coverage. Another one of those ones where if I'm going to be having like a 14-hour day, these are the foundations that I go to. It's really, really similar now that I think about it in my head. Never thought this before. These two are really, really similar. Both kind of drying, so I have to make sure that I base my skin really, really well with a heavy duty moisturizer when I wear them. But really long wearing, really, really matte, really good for anyone who does not have um, anyone that's oily or anyone that doesn't have like dry skin problems. This is going to be awesome for you because it's gonna wear all day, and it's gonna, if you do have like a little bit of oiliness, it's probably just gonna give you more of a dew, and it's going to probably take a little bit longer to look really, really oily on you. So I definitely would recommend these two if you're oily. I just thought about that in my head, but they're really, really similar. Not sure what the prices on them. I'm gonna try and find the prices and everything and put them in the description box here. I'm gonna try and get all fancy, so that way you guys can see, where to find them, what the prices are on them, and that kind of goes. So that's pretty much my collection of foundations. I am missing one actually. Ooh. And I don't have it with me. It's a powder foundation. It's the Makeup Forever one. I can't find that one. But anyway, Makeup Forever powder foundation. Really good foundation. Really full coverage powder. Something I just have this issue with powder because my skin is so dry. So I tend to stay away from it. But it's a decent powder. If you like powder foundations, it's definitely one to give a try. I have it. It's in my bathroom. And I'm not going to go ahead and get up and get it just to show you that one that I don't use that often. So, well, I guess I do kind of use it often, but not all the time. But anyway, it's in my bathroom. I'm not going to go get it. So that's pretty much it. Those are my foundations. Those are my picks. If you have any questions about it or anything, definitely ask me. I'm always here. And thanks again. Appreciate your time. You guys have a great day.